From Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, this is Tar Heel Illustrated.com. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and joining me on the field again, our very own publisher, Andrew Jones. Feels like it's been a while, AJ, and it has.
Well, the spring game.
Yeah, true. Forgot about that.
Here's the difference. I just came from post-game interviews in person.
Yeah.
First in-person post-game interviews in football since the Military Bowl.
Wow, since the Military Bowl. I remember those interviews.
All of 20, and last year
that's true.
all Zoom.
That's true. It has been a while. And AJ, I think it's we're here to talk about Carolina's 56-24 win, season opening win over Florida A&M here on this field right here. Late night 3 things coming at you right here as well, as it's 1 a.m. right now. So
well, let me check.
Check it right now. Is it 1 a.m.?
1:14 in the morning.
1:15 a.m.
And I have at least 3 more articles to write. I'll be up till 6. So,
if you are a THI subscriber, head on over to our website. Let us know in the thread for this video what time you think AJ will be going to sleep tonight. I'm saying 6 a.m. probably, maybe. Yeah. Maybe, if he even goes to bed
I may go to sleep after the Twitter space Monday night. I'll just stay awake through.
You may never go to sleep, and if we keep talking on this one, you may never go to sleep even more, because we'll be sitting here for 2 hours.
We have a game to talk about.
Yeah, we do. And AJ, first thing I want to talk about, I think it only has to start in one place. It's a topic on everybody's mind right now, I think, and it's Drake Maye. Really impressive first start for the redshirt freshman quarterback. 294 yards, 5 touchdowns, 76% completion percentage, no turnovers. Really good performance from Drake Maye. He made a lot of throws. He made a lot of impressive plays. It's something we've talked about going back to spring. We always felt like he was the guy. Yeah. And I think we saw tonight, I think everybody in the stadium saw tonight why Drake Maye is the guy for Carolina. Really, really impressive performance from him in his first game.
We just didn't feel like he was the guy. We knew he was the guy.
Yeah.
All you have to do is track the way Dina has followed his football life the last several years, and I implicitly trust her ability to look at guys when they're rising sophomores, rising juniors in high school, and gauge what they might be, especially guys that are very skilled. And Drake's ceiling is significant. Maybe the most significant of, guys we've seen. Sam was really, really good.
He's
Drake
good,
has
man.
the potential to maybe even be better than Sam, and we saw tonight why. The vision, and I asked Mac about the vision. He sees everything. He's 6'5". He was a wing player in basketball, very good high school basketball player. He's the best athlete in a family in which 2 older brothers won national championships in college, and were significant parts of those championships.
Yeah.
So we saw him make stuff happen because he can see it. You can't make a throw you don't see.
You can't see over the line as well.
So if you see everything, it opens up your range of options of where to distribute the ball. And I thought Mac, when he said, he did a great job distributing the ball, that's exactly what he did tonight. He didn't have to be, oh my gosh, this guy's got a cannon for an arm, and oh my gosh, this guy just made, an acrobatic play except the leap.
Yeah.
But an acrobatic play to keep a drive going. I mean, everything he did was football 101, but on steroids, for lack of a better term. I like to say steroids of football. But it was just an unbelievable football 101 performance with breathtaking skill and potential. Really, I love the use of the tight ends. We've been talking up tight ends for a month, saying that's the position group on offense the staff was most comfortable with when fall camp opened. It was the position group they were most comfortable with coming into this game. Kamari Morales had first 2 touchdowns were tight ends, and the Nesbitt touchdown, as much as we've been told he would line up at receiver, and I don't think he did, but a couple times tonight, that touchdown was as a tight end.
I love that play call, by the way.
John Copenhaver had a couple big plays, and one over here should have gotten the end zone. He should have gotten that thing into the end zone. And Drake said he missed him on another time. It maybe could have been for a big gain or possibly a touchdown, given how he could have shaken the defender. Yeah. So use of a bunch of different receivers, 6 different guys on offense scored. Okay, and Drake didn't score. Although, look, he wanted that one.
He wanted that one. I thought they should have just gave it to him.
Josh Downs said they should have given it to him for effort because he was airborne. But I love the way he played. He managed the game well. He looked smooth and fluid. Looked like he'd been doing this for every week for a couple of years. And let's face it, this was his first start in almost 3 years. Because he didn't have a senior year of high school. And then he enrolled her. And he took 41 snaps last year. Most of those were against Wofford. Now this was an FCS defense.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll see how Drake handles Boone next week. And then we'll see in a couple of weeks when Notre Dame comes in here, a few weeks when Notre Dame comes in here, how he handles that. But I think what we saw tonight are the things you want to see from a quarterback. Distributing the ball, What does he see? How does he react to things? You know, that long run, that was a designed play.
Yeah.
They know he has the wheels. They're not going to run him as much as Sam did last year. They don't have to. But his sense of the pocket, I think one time the pocket closed, he didn't get out.
Yeah, it was a couple. Yeah,
and he got hit one time throwing the ball, and another time he threw wide to Josh right over here because the pocket was closing. But the line gave him time. But he just kind of felt everything really, really well. I would imagine that when Phil Longo grades the film, it's going to be highly complimentary. Of course, Drake's competitiveness, we're all asking him questions about how terrific he played. He's focusing on the missed passes.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable competitor. And we saw that in the post-game press conference at 12:30 in the morning, how competitive he is. He only wants to focus on the misses because he wants to get better. It's a really good opener. It's hard to be much better than he was today.
Yeah, it really is. I was really impressed with what I saw from Drake Maye. And like you said, tougher test to wait. But from what you see and what was it up against him tonight, really positive performance.
And most touchdown passes in a debut for a quarterback Carolina. Most touchdown passes in a season opener at North Carolina.
Setting some records already. Yeah,
he wasn't the only guy doing interesting, historic type things here.
And that's a heck of a segue right
yes,
there.
Yes, it is. I did that on purpose.
That was really good, AJ. Omarion Hampton's the second guy I want to talk about. Three things. We've almost like three guys in this one. Omarion Hampton, I want to go straight to him. True freshman running back. I'm going to add this too, AJ. You've been on campus for like less than 2 months right now. I mean, you've rolled July 1st. You haven't been on campus for a very long time. So this is a guy that's very new to this program and this university. But 101 yards on his debut, setting records. I'll let you go ahead and spew that off after I stop talking. But you know, when you look at a guy like Omarion Hampton, Mac talked about in the preseason that Carolina's got some running backs.
Yep.
And it looked like it started with DJ Jones, didn't really get started, going. George Pettaway, I thought he, especially in the second half, really did some nice things, had a touchdown to throw in there. But Omarion Hampton kind of got hot early. I believe he had 8 carries at halftime. That was 6 more than any Carolina running back at the time. So you could tell he was the hot hand. Ends up with 101 yards. Really liked what I saw from him. Aggressive. We've talked about it. We've seen him before he got to Carolina. He always looked the part. Yeah. But I think he showed tonight that he is the part. And I'm going to throw this out there. This is not me throwing it out there, AJ. I think people are getting a little too giddy with this. But the Michael Carter, Javonte Williams comparisons I'm seeing thrown over Twitter with George Pettaway and Omarion Hampton, they're there. We've only played 1 game. Let's not get too giddy yet. But I think from what you saw from both of those true freshman guys, particularly Omarion Hampton, it's a lot of reason to be optimistic there.
Well, those two, I'll go there first.
Yeah.
Those two accomplished so much that silly to make that comparison.
Yeah, way too early.
However, we do live in a world of projections. We do live in a world of what do you think this guy can become? So I will say it. I do think that Pettaway might be a little bit more naturally talented than Michael in a lot of different areas.
Yeah,
and I think that Omarion might be more naturally talented than Javonte. That doesn't mean anything right now. They played 1 game.
Yeah, exactly. It's way too early.
And when you say hot hand, I think in a lot of ways they're just going with their best back. So the hot hand is their best guy. He's always a hot hand, right? He should always be a hot hand if he's their best player.
That's a good point.
He showed the ability to, and I saw this the first practice, and I texted you. I texted our staff. Like, my God, he could turn.
Yeah.
Like, turn the nose upfield and accelerate. We didn't know how well he could do that in high school because it's hard to tell sometimes against high school kids, right? He just run people over. College, you got to be able to turn upfield. You're not just going to run everybody over, although he did knock a few guys on their rears. His ability to dart through a hole, to turn, find the vision, cut, accelerate, turn the nose upfield, make people miss.
It's impressive, man.
Pettaway made 4 guys miss on his touchdown.
Yeah, you put a couple guys on skates. Yeah.
They're both going to be really, really productive here. They're both really, really good. And I don't think running back's going to be an issue. Now, they're going to come up in situations where their youth is going to be a problem. How well do they pass protect? Pass protection wasn't a problem tonight. Wasn't going to be a problem tonight. It could be next week. Yeah. So if you see a lot of DJ Jones on the field, don't curse at the TV and curse at Mac on Twitter and Phil Longo. That's because DJ could pick up pass protection. The true freshman might not quite be there yet. So you have to understand they're in a process too, the dreaded word process.
Throwing the P word out, guys.
But there's no doubt that Omarion can carry the ball and get into the end zone. There's no doubt that George Pettaway will be able to do that as well. And I think when you have a passing game that uses all elements of the field, and they can do that without having to go deep because of the use of tight ends, because Drake can see everything. They run so much stuff out of the same looks that if you have solid blocking up front, these guys have a chance to get through. And, they can get to the second level quickly. I just think the balance with everything they can do within that, 5-6 yard radius of the line of scrimmage, because of the passing game, because of what Drake can do, because he can run, that I think is going to make it soften the cushion a little bit more for the running backs to do what they need to do. Potentially, this could be a really, really good offense.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see when after Notre Dame comes through here, we'll kind of have a better idea where they are, and expect some struggles at times from these kids. But man, Omarion was really good. Here's something that's interesting. First Carolina player, first freshman, run for 100 yards in his first game since Charlie Choo Choo Justice. And here's what's interesting. Two things about this. Number one, Charlie Choo Choo Justice, that wasn't his first game as a collegiate. Go look up the numbers. Okay. He played for 2 years in college for the Bainbridge Naval Base team. This is back during the World War II era when a lot of training bases actually fielded college football teams. They were guys that came from all over the place. So by the time Choo Choo got to North Carolina as a freshman, he was already a college football star.
Yeah.
Because Bainbridge was one of the top teams in the country. So I actually researched a book on this, and it's amazing. The choo-choo stuff, they knew about that stuff when he was running for touchdowns at Camp David and stuff like that. Camp Davis, excuse me. So he was a star when he got here, and he was a star while he was here. So somebody asked Omarion about choo-choo. What do you know about choo-choo? Because anybody that does a list of greatest Carolina football players of all time, if choo-choo's not number one, your list has zero credibility. No credibility whatsoever. 2-time runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. He was Mr. Everything, not just here, but in college football for a long time. So somebody asked Omarion about him. He's like, I kind of know the name and stuff like that. And I said, that statue out front? That's him. He's the only football player here with a statue for a reason. So that's a nice little thing that Drake doing what he did, Omarion doing what he did. They can connect a little bit to the past. So people were so concerned about offense. And tonight, offense wasn't an issue. The thing people weren't really that concerned about actually was an issue tonight. And there's my second assist, my second segue of the night, which is history. Yeah. So I'm setting a record too.
Yeah, you are. You're doing great stuff.
So I get a segue statue made. We can plant right here.
I'll put it on the box score. 2 assists for AJ in this one so far.
And I'm
going to circle back to that last topic real quickly, AJ, because you and your dad actually wrote the book. You did the research for it.
Well, my dad wrote it.
Yeah, we did a podcast on this whole Charlie Choo Choo Justice, Bainbridge, all that stuff. You can find it on our YouTube channel. I'll try to link it below if I remember, but you can find it on our YouTube channel as a podcast. One of our favorite podcasts I've ever listened to.
He did a 3-part series for us of articles during the COVID year. We were starving for content.
It was fantastic. It was one of my favorite podcasts we've ever done. I love it.
Thank God that Wilbur Jones came through for us.
I'm a World War II history buff, and obviously, anything around Carolina I love too. So definitely go check that out. It's a really fascinating podcast. But AJ, going back to what you assisted me on, we'll talk about the defense.
Yep.
I think that's where the frustration lied tonight. I tweeted it kind of early in the third quarter. Defense, for my expectations of what I thought we were going to see tonight, a little bit of a letdown. I think most Carolina fans would agree, just kind of looking at some of the frustration surrounding it. I thought FAMU just moved the ball way too easily at times. I think my biggest, concern looking at it was when you looked at FAMU's O-line shortage in particular. Carolina just struggled to get to the quarterback on that defensive line for a while. We saw glimpses of what they can do. Noah Taylor obviously getting the first sack of the game. That was impressive. It got a little bit better towards the end of the game. I think FAMU just got worn down a little bit, and Carolina just started making some more plays on defense. So credit to the defense for playing a little bit better towards the end. But I think that's where the concern lies. I think everybody in this stadium, every Carolina fan, expected a little bit better of a defensive display, particularly in that first half, with just how easily FAMU was moving the ball. Now, Tony Grimes going out, that's unfortunate. It's a big loss. You got really young corners in there, and Dante Balfour and DeAndre Boykins. I think Boykins played really well tonight. And Storm Duck obviously coming back, who, Mac told us he wasn't going to start tonight, and voila, he's out there. So I think there's a lot of things to build on. I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done on that defensive side of the ball. I think we saw some positive things at times as well. But overall, I think we just kind of expected to see more from the defense as a whole.
I'll go positives first.
I like that.
DeAndre Boykins' star was really good at times tonight and had a great series that he changed the series.
Yeah.
They ended up forcing a punt, I think, on that series. And Power Echols was phenomenal.
He was really good.
We saw
a lot of people shout for player of the game.
The speed, the quickness, the power, the nose for the ball. Cedric Gray said I asked him. I said, when you're alongside him out there, do you get a sense of how well he's playing? He's like, did you see him play? I'm like, yeah, but do you get a sense of it? Because when you play football, you're involved in what you're doing. You don't see all the other guys. You're not watching like a spectator. Oh, yeah. And he said he told him in the second quarter, man, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. And he looked the part. He's a ferocious guy who's got a great mind.
Yeah.
And he's incredibly athletic. So he checks the three most important, well, how many boxes here? He's really smart. He's ferocious. He's athletic. He's fundamentally sound. And he has passion. He plays every snap with passion. So, okay, those are the 5 boxes that you need to be a really, really good linebacker. He checks those 5 boxes every day in practice. He checked them in the game tonight, and he was huge because without him, they could have had a little bit more success. This was a game going into the fourth quarter. It was an 11-point game.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And the defense stepped up, made some plays. I do think, I don't know if FAMU, I don't know if they tired. I just think Carolina made some plays. But they did have some problems. They had some, and by the way, Kamen Rucker played pretty well.
Yeah, he was good too.
He's so fundamentally sound.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
If you have a kid who plays football at the line of scrimmage, have him watch Kamen Rucker on how to properly do things. He is unbelievably fundamentally sound. You can learn a lot watching him. Kids in high school can learn a lot watching him play.
He's really impressive.
But let's face it, after the first 2 series, the defense was not very good for a while, into the third quarter. At one point, we all thought Carolina would have explosive plays and big chunk plays because they're playing in FCS. At one point, well into the third quarter, Carolina had 14 plays of 10 or more yards. Rattlers had 13. And they had 18 first downs, I think, through the first 3 quarters. So,
it made it look easy at times.
Yeah,
really
and they didn't do much in the fourth quarter, but that one drive where they converted 2 fourth downs, one right over here, a lot of third downs. They had 3 different drives. I think they had 4 first downs on those drives. It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
I don't want to hear this stuff, they're a good football team, they're a good FCS team. They're an FCS team. They're a club that kids transfer down to. They're a club that has loaded with kids that the North Carolinas don't look at. We talked last year about dudes on defense. The scheme kind of screwed that up a little bit. We spent the last month talking about dudes on defense. They talked about dudes on defense. We didn't see enough dudes tonight. Power was a dude. Boykins occasionally was a dude. There were some other guys that had dude moments, okay? But they need to have a lot more dude moments collectively moving forward because it's going to be much more difficult next week.
Yeah, it is.
But flipping back to the positive thing, they got a lot of stuff on film. And this is why you moved this game up to week 0 with the schedule they have coming up, because you know there's going to be a lot of junk, a lot of crap that's going to be on film, and you have to see it against somebody else so the kids can then watch the film and learn from it. I think they'll clean up a lot of this.
Yeah, I think so too.
All of it's correctable. I would say there is a concern if Tony Grimes can't go next week. We don't know what the deal is right now. Mac said he hadn't checked or anything. He said the medical people will let him know Sunday morning. And then if there's anything serious, they'll let us know. If it's not serious, we'll find out Monday at the press conference. They need Tony Grimes.
They do, yeah.
And by the way, Storm Duck, I mean, he's only been practicing not even 2 weeks. And he was out there and started. And I thought did some really good. Had an interception. First interception since the Military Bowl.
Yeah. A lot of Military Bowl references.
You were on the field shooting that. You have a great photo of him crossing the goal line. That was his last pick.
I do say so myself.
That was forever ago.
Yeah, it feels like it.
So they need Grimes because Balfour looked like a guy playing his first game at times out there. But again, the value in having stuff on film, getting into practice and they'll fix it tomorrow, but they'll work on some of these things during the course of the week too. I think in the end, they'll be okay, but they have more to clean up than we expected they would have to clean up. So that's probably a little bit of concern. And I did ask Mac, are you concerned? And he said yes, before I even finished the question. Because he knew. You don't give up 4th down conversions to it. You don't give them up to anybody. But certainly not to an FCS team when you built this defense up the way that it's been built up, and they've been a big part of building it up. So we'll look to see. It'll be very interesting to see how much progress they make. By the way, they did force 3 turnovers, right?
I believe it was 3.
2 turnovers, at least 2. Yeah, and they got 3 sacks. So, there were some positive things there. I think Power Eccles, if you have a stud at linebacker, it's not a bad place to start. And I did think that Noah Taylor showed that speed, that unbridled go after the quarterback stuff. I did see a discernible difference between Jack and what was once the hybrid, and I think that will work in their favor as they move on during the course of the season.
Agreed, AJ. A lot of positives to take away. A few negatives you're looking at, but early, week 0. It's not even week 1 yet if you ask Mac Brown.
We're putting a ban. No more week 0 mentions on Tar Heels ever again. This is their week 1. This is our week 1. So it's week 1. Next week will be week 2, and everybody else can have week 1. I don't care.
Yeah, guys, it's 1:30 in the a.m. right now. This is week 1. This ain't no week 0.
It's an 18-minute.
Yeah, football season is officially back.
1:32.
I can tell you that for sure. AJ, I think it's a great place to wrap this one up. I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones for another edition of Three Things, back on the field following Carolina's 56-24 win, season opening win, I should say, over FAMU. Keep it locked to TarIllustrated.com. Make sure you check our website out for all the coverage from tonight's game. Obviously leading up to App State next week too. Tougher test to wait. It's gonna be fun to cover. I know a lot of Carolina fans are looking forward to it. Again, guys, keep it locked. Links in the description below. Head on over to our website to see all our post-game coverage. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.